It's always like those moments when you're about to walk out, quit, that you're just like, they wouldn't let me have that day off. I was sick. They wouldn't give me my last raise. They won't give me a fucking new T-shirt or whatever it is, you know?
It's almost like being in a abusive relationship, and you know, when it's all over, you kind of look back at it and see all of the bullshit that you kind of, I don't know, because I think there have been situations where, oh, well, you know, my boss, such and such, he's a good guy. He wouldn't, you know, but then later on, I think back, I'm like, oh, no, he was technically, yeah, he was fucking me, you know? I mean, the most mistreated I've ever been, yeah, fast food was a lot of it. I think the fast food, I mean, obviously they're trying to get the most work for the least amount of money.
Yeah.
And
people even know it waiting in that drive-thru, you know?
Right.
I think there's been times that I've been in a drive-thru and I'm like, dude, come on. They don't care. And why should they care?
Right.
And I shouldn't even be here
I shouldn't even be eating Taco Bar right now.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be cooking it.
Yeah. Well, and then there's times, I know both of us have walked out of jobs, you know, where it's just like, oh, I know for sure that I'm being mistreated and I walked out. Though I've sort of regretted those because I feel like I could have handled it more professionally, but...
when I walked out of Steak and Shake, I don't even know that I was really being mistreated.
Bro, I love that story, man. The way I remember you telling me how you walked out of Steak and Shake is like my favorite thing, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was already working the late shift. It was a 24-hour Steak and Shake. And it had to have been like midnight or 1 o'clock. And I was working the shake station. And I was just getting buried in shakes, dude. And I really, honestly, kind of couldn't keep up. And my boss comes up to me, and I think I was scheduled out to like 2 or something. It was some ridiculous hour. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. And my boss is like, hey, man, you're probably going to be here till 4 tonight because we got such and such. I don't know. So I can't remember what the fuck it was. It was some stupid bullshit.
Yeah, a new movie came out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, basically.
It's the one here is near the theater. That's why I say that. But
cleaning or something. Like his boss was going to be in the next day or something. Oh. They wanted to get something done. But all I heard was 4 a.m. and I said, fuck this shit. And yeah, I just walked out, fucking rail full of tickets, shakes half made and shit. And yeah, I hopped in my little fucking Eagle Summit.
Yeah, bro.
The busted transmission and putted away.
But I remember you telling me that you walked out and you had to walk past the drive-thru window to get to your car. And somebody was working.
I think I was parked in front of the drive-thru window and I didn't see the person, but
you heard of or something?
I don't know, man. I just imagine it in my head, maybe.
Oh.
I think that might have been where it came from. But that's always been, ever since that happened. I think you might have mentioned that. You were like, hey, man, what if the guy at the drive-thru window just looks out like, hey, man, hey, that's our shake guy. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. He turns around. It's just chaos.
I thought that you had told me that the person was like, you know, all right, your total's 22. Steve! Hey, what do you... Oh, shit.
I don't know if that happened, but
that's how it's in my head, bro.
That's how I have it in my head. So yeah, I guess that's how it happened.
What's going on? Did that guy milkshake taking too long? Because Steve was in the weeds. Steve? Hey, doesn't Steve drive a Green Eagle Summit? Yeah, I think that was him, bro.
I was probably still wearing the stupid fucking paper hat and the bow tie.
You had the bow tie?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I remember specifically one time going into work with that fucking stupid bow tie. And they made me shave my beard because you had to have like a clean, presentable look or whatever, and just going into work. You just looked at me, you were like, man, you look fucking dumb.
I said that?
It was something like that.
Sorry,
I don't know
bro.
if it was specific. But I did. I looked dumb. Oh, you said something like I looked like a dork or something. I don't know.
I can imagine that.
No, I was definitely, I looked like a fucking the poster boy for dorkiness.
I think I walked out of one job. I'm pretty sure it was one, but it was a restaurant, and I had been there. I was pretty young. Or maybe it wasn't qualified for this position, but they had pretty bad turnover, and they would bring in a new chef, and I was like the shift leader. A lot of quotes because I felt like we were just slinging seafood, pub food, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of feel weird because the chefs that came through were like pretty severe drug addicts a lot of times, or maybe they couldn't rise to the occasion at all.
But you were pretty young. I remember you were probably like 21.
I think I was 20 when I walked out. Yeah, I had like 4 years of experience at that point, but I was doing really well. I mean, for my age and for the expectations and the food quality that was going out, I feel like I was doing pretty well. But they kept bringing in a new kitchen manager chef, and dude, I was probably on the fourth one, and I'd been there for 2 years. And they would come in and be like, "Hey, Sean, you're gonna train this person, basically. Like it's gonna be a team collective, but since you're the shift lead and you're really the only person that we've given any sort of name to, and you're the only salary worker, you're gonna train this person and show them the ropes. Like I knew the recipes in my head, you know what I'm saying?
By the way, they make 12% more than you do.
I'm sure there was way more than 12% more than me. Yeah, I mean they were like flying people in to town. They hired a sushi chef that, as I understood, came from New York and came to the job. So they had to have lured him in. Like, I think they probably covered he got there and I don't think he really didn't work there super duper long before he was like, dude, this is not what I thought it was. But anyways, they got to the point where it was like, all right, we're going to hire our fifth chef. And I was like, this is the same thing over. So why don't you just consider me for the job? Because if you think I'm qualified to keep training these guys, then why don't you consider me for the job? And so they set up a formal interview, and I was like, I've been working for you for 2 years. I don't know why I need to do a formal interview.
Right. Well, you said, tell us a little bit about your history. You're like, you were there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty young, and I kind of cut my teeth here, you know? It was the third restaurant job I had. And
what did you do before this? Well, high school.
Yeah. No, I did have a couple serious kitchen jobs before that. I think what thrusted me kind of further than I didn't cook like I had 4 years experience. I feel pretty confident that I was cooking like I had more than that, you know? And I think it was because my first kitchen job, when I started learning, I was working like 80 hours and 7 days a week for a long time. And so I was like literally doubling down on my time in the kitchen. And so I felt like I was ahead of what you would expect me to be. We had to do a formal interview, and it was like, tell us the mother sauces and tell us what water boils at and what does it boil at in Denver. You know, none of this matters because we're not in Denver and the altitude's higher, so it boils at a different temperature, and here it boils at 212. I don't think that's really a qualifying question because like it's bubbling, it's boiling.
Stupid,
you know?
Yeah.
And I think they were really trying to kind of help me expand my culinary horizon a little bit with questions like that. But what had happened was they called me and said, we're going to give this a shot. We're going to give you the position and we're going to see how it goes. We have some hesitation because of your age and experience, but we think that you can do it. And you think you can do it. And I was like, hell yeah. How much are you paying me? And they said, we're not going to give you a raise. And I said, well, I guess we'll see how it goes. And I'm sure I'll earn that raise. And then like that night, I was like, I'm not a sucker, dude. What kind of shit is that? And so I didn't walk out in the middle of a shift, but I remember I text the staff, hey, I'm not coming back. And so I'm giving you guys a heads up because Monday's going to be really tough. It's half off sushi and I won't be there. And I'm kind of a big part of that half off sushi day at the time. And so I'm out of here, bro. And I'm sorry, guys. And I don't really know how those guys felt about it. Most of them seemed supportive to me as I told them because they kind of understood the situation. But
that is that takes some balls, and they probably just assume that I feel like I got taken advantage of in the same way by an employer that saw that I was young and passionate and aspired to be a chef, and I was very vocal about that. Not like, oh, I'm going to be the shit, but this is the path that I want to take.
Yeah, this is what I got, and I'm doing it.
I think that I was even vocal about the idea that I understood that they were underpaying me, but I took the job because it was a step towards what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that it sucks, man. Certain people in this industry will find young blossoming talent that is really passionate, that wants to expand, and they'll just exploit it.
Yeah.